Hey y'all, it's August the 12th, 2015, and as you might already be aware, I'm struggling to keep up. We're at a point in time when news is so available and so preposterous that it is becoming virtually impossible to keep up with it. Even the sects of the news are moving at light speed. One particular topic, general topic that I'm very interested in, and so I'm gonna keep covering it, is the Black Lives Matters movement. Now, a long time ago, long time ago, I made a video about how the Black Lives movement was dead, and it was dead. I wasn't lying to you, all right? I really wasn't, and this was a long time ago. But what happened is they took something that was dead, that had already flatlined, and went rigor mortis. They Dr. Frankenstein that shit up, sewed it back up, put a brain in it somehow, and now resurrected it in some sort of freak show fashion. All right, it's haunting us from the grave, this Black Lives Matters thing. And I gotta say, it's reaching extents that I wasn't aware that it was gonna reach so fast. I mean, it has everything to do with Sandra Bland's untimely death. All right. And then just recently, I know you've seen this video where Bernie Sanders' whole thing in Seattle gets shut down by complete, unwavering, and unabashed ignorance. Loud, violent ignorance. It's becoming like a day by day thing. I mean, you just seen Black Lives Matters get spray painted on that Nathan Bedford Forrest's statue. All right, I'm not hating on people necessarily graffitiing things that they feel is not right, but the thing is, you've never studied Nathan Bedford Forrest a day in your life before you went to go tag up his statue. I know that for a fact. So Black Lives Matters is sweeping the nation, and it's something that it has to be covered. And I'll put it to you like this: it's weird that I'm interested, sure, because I'm no parts black. All right, but here's the thing about it: the Black Lives Matters movement is fixing to devastate the black populace. All right, I'm not even black. And yet I'm concerned about the devastation that's inevitably going to come to the black populace through this Black Lives Matters nonsense. So I was doing some research, looking some stuff up, and I came across an article. Now this article is going to completely put in a nutshell the total, unrelenting insanity that is fueling the Black Lives Matters movement, and the fact that we are not going to stop it by any measure with reason and logic. It's not trying to hear logic or reason or solutions. It's trying to go buck wild and buck nasty on everybody's intellect. So this is why I'm going to read you this article. It's a real quick article. All right, it's by Ryan Cooper, who looks, by his picture, looks like an Uncle Tom if I ever seen one in my life. Ryan Cooper, he wrote this published it August 10th, 2015. It says, Sunday marked the 1 year anniversary of Michael Brown's death. All right, now check this out. Here comes the adjectives. An unarmed black 18-year-old kid killed. All right, you're going to bust out adjectives. Why are you busting out two adjectives, three adjectives? All right, you're busting out particular three adjectives that you like. You ain't gonna say alleged criminal, pretty much well-known criminal Mike Brown. You're not gonna say that, but you are gonna mention Darren Wilson and the fact that he's not a police officer, not a husband and father or anything. That he's a white police officer. That's what it's gonna come down to every single time. They are not ashamed to do it. After a day of calm remembrances. The night turned violent, as police shot another black 18-year-old. All right, stop that right there. That sentence right there. The day was calm, full of calm remembrances. The night turned violent. Why did it turn violent? Because an 18-year-old black person was shot. This would insinuate that that's the turning point. Calm, calm, calm. Now a black person gets shot for no reason. One Tyrone Harris, this time after he reportedly, notice how you just conveniently put reportedly fired a pistol at a police car. All right, reportedly is an optional word in this damn sentence, all right? It very much seems like he fired a pistol at a police car, is what it really seems like. Now, is that definite? Did he definitely do it? No. Uh, it very much seems like he did do it. He is still alive, though in critical condition, is yet another sad reminder of the fact that despite some reform inspired by the Black Lives Matters movement, the issue of police brutality is still very much alive. Oh, you think so? However justified this particular shooting seems at the moment. Let me tell you something. Uh, this particular shooting seems very justified at the moment. Now, how are you going to refer to police shooting a person who reportedly is shooting at them as police brutality in your very first paragraph? Already, you should have stopped the article on your first paragraph and you kept it going. Said another reminder came last week when new details emerged about a police shooting of an unarmed white 19-year-old Zachary Hammond in Seneca, South Carolina. That's in the South, please believe it. The police alleged that they set up an undercover drug buy and shot Hammond to death when he tried to run over one of the officers with his car. However, a private autopsy showed that the bullets had entered Hammond's body from the back. I mean, whoever shot him was in no way going about to get run over. That's basically what that means. Maybe someone else is going about to get run over. And it wouldn't be the first time the police had turned a simple drug bust into a shooting death with incompetent swaggering. All right, it says in media reports, Hammond's family, along with some conservatives, expressed resentment that their son's death had not gotten the same media reaction that black victims had, like Michael Brown, who's pretty much criminal, Samuel Dubose, who got shot up in the dome for no good reason, and Sandra Bland did, even though Black Lives Matters is basically what led to her suicide, is what it seems like. It's an understandable reaction, but a mistaken one. Instead of getting angry at the relative lack of media coverage, Hammond, now this is an opinion, Hammond supporters should lend their voices to the movement for police reform. What is this movement called? Is it called Police Reform Movement? Mm-mm. Because whites, particularly poor ones, stand to benefit a great deal from the Black Lives Matters agenda, an agenda that should be called the Police Reform Agenda, but it is not. Instead, it's called the Black Lives Matters agenda. So, okay, yeah, poor white people should definitely get behind a movement that absolutely, totally alienates them, even from the title, from the very jump. That's what they should do. That makes sense. The argument of Black Lives Matters is that the criminal justice system disproportionately brutalizes black people. And this is very obviously correct. If you look at arrests, charging, sentencing, incarceration, and police shootings at every level, blacks are victimized at a rate greater than their share of the population, sometimes vastly so. Now, this dude is going to take statistics and he's going to totally muddle them right in front of your face. Now, let me just say that he is exactly correct. Like, say, if you're looking at a block, a street block, and one night a black person gets killed, maybe two black people get killed on that particular block, way more black people got killed than white people on that block. But when you step back and you look at all the areas, not just one area, not the particular areas you want to look at. If you look at the entire area, say the entire country, you're going to start coming up with totally different statistics than the ones that you're mentioning right now. And in fact, he's about to show you through a graph that what he just told you was bullshit in his own article. Says, however, that clearly does not imply that blacks make up literally 100% of the people unjustly hassled or murdered by cops. Oh, you're starting to get into some contrary. It says, on the contrary, whites also get a large share of the abuse simply because they are a large demographic majority. Now, I can agree with you there. Maybe that's why a lot of them are getting shot, because there's a lot of them out there. Perhaps. Take police shootings, for example. The subject of an ongoing monitoring project by the Washington Post, it says, of the 585 people killed by police so far this year, 147%, or 147 of them were black. That means 25% of them were black. It says that's almost twice the 13% black share of the population. And see, this is how he's getting to tell you what it is he's trying to tell you, because he thinks that you're so fucking dumb that you're not going to be able to look it up yourself. It says, but that still leaves 291, 50% of those who were white. Now I'm about to run out of time, so I just want to pose something to you very simply. You have a room. Let's make this simple. The room is filled with 100 people. 100 people. 13 of those people are black. Let's just make it a round number. 40 of those people are white. The rest of those people are something completely different from black and white. All right. Let's say a murderous shooter and he has a badge on. Whatever you want. He walks up into the damn room and he starts shooting and killing people. He kills a lot of people. We don't know how many people, but he kills a lot of them. All right. It's the person that's going to walk up into that room, try and figure out what in the world happened. What was this dude's agenda? Is he going to say, oh man, 25% of the people who were killed were black? All right. 50% of the people who were killed were white. But at the same time, there were only 13 black people in this room. So thereby, with those statistics, thinking reasonably, this person must have hated black people way more than white people. Of course, he killed more white people than black people. But his motive must be to kill black people. He hates black people, and maybe the white people just got in the way. This is the logic that insane people are going with. And they're being given jobs. And they're being given places in news uh, forums and magazines and television and all sorts of stuff. They're giving mad jobs to people who think just like this in universities. All right, and then he goes on and shows even more statistics. He has a graph that completely disproves the point that he's trying to make, in which if you go down, and of course I left the link down there, so you click on the link, it's not going to take you very long. You're going to see a graph where he shows that white people who drop out of high school are pretty much exactly the same proportion to end up in the criminal justice system as black people. Pretty much the exact same proportion. All right, what he shows is about uh, for the 5% of white people that drop out, it makes about 30% of them are going to end up in jail. And it also shows for the 15% of black people who are going to drop out, it seems around 60% of them are going to end up in jail, in the system somehow. It's the exact same proportion, and it shows it in the graph in the article that you're writing, where you say that it is not that. All right. It's August the 12th, 2015, and Black Lives Matters uh is just ruining everybody's lives. Everybody's lives matter.